Well, all I can say, it was this like bubble, like it was about maybe the size of a semi-truck tire. It was spinning backwards, like going forward. It was white on the outer rim of it, like an electrical current, kind of a white, and it mixed in with a bluish, greenish, because kind of the inside of it was kind of a teal color.
Mm-hmm.
Inside of it was all around was floating this golden dust. There was so much of it. It looked like a static TV. There was so much in it. It was floating around this, I'd say about a beach ball size clear ball. It wasn't moving fast. It was moving the pace about a fast walk. It was about 6 feet from us. It was going over the road where they tore up the cable and put in new fiber optic wires a couple years back where you could see it. It was sucking the power. Well, it looked like it did because it was power was coming from the road, sucked up, seemed to be sucking it up into it. Inside of it, where all the crystal or the golden dust was floating around, there's that clear ball. It was, like I say, it was about the size of a beach ball.
Mm-hmm.
In the middle of it, we thought maybe it was like another, like a ruby, I guess, the red one. At first, another stone or something. But it wasn't until it moved away from us and we could see it from behind that we noticed that it was in a teardrop shape, and it looked like some type of liquid because the orb was spinning. It was spinning really super fast. It was making a kind of a chopping noise, not real fast.
Mm-hmm.
It went probably about 25 feet away. It sat there. It spun for a second, and we were just so zoned in on what's happening, still trying to figure out what it is, kind of. It went over the iron plate manhole cover. It seemed to arc. It made the same pop noise that it did when it came shooting right next to us. It seemed to shoot. There was a power line right there. It seemed to maybe shoot off and hit the power line, and maybe arc off of that again because there's sparks that came off the transformer on the power pole. And it just took off both of us at the same time, or the same time go, whoa! And really, it was really a heavy-duty thing for my boy. He kind of got scared, and, well, he almost wanted to cry. So, anyway, so it was right at that time when it shot off that my wife's friend was here. She opened the door. We thought for sure that she had seen it,
mm-hmm.
and she didn't see it. And so, you know, it's one of these things where you want to sit back and you want to say, well, you're just going to go and you're going to tear into her and you're going to say, hey, this just happened. But it was such an incredible thing that literally you're just high on life. And when she came out, I really can't remember what I said to her. I just was just dazed with, oh my God, what did I see? So
now you
got in the car.
You said you were high on life.
I just was. I mean, I was still trying to take it all in on what had just happened. You know, I just was.
Well,
I was really just I just was in a whole other state of mind at that point in time.
So how many orbs were there during the second sighting? Just one orb?
There was just one orb.
Okay, and there was one UFO during the first sighting.
Well, actually, there was 2 UFOs and an orb on the first sighting.
Okay.
Yeah, because I seen that when I ran back, and I seen on the first sighting, and I seen it looked like a star, and it was going in space. And then I ran back, and when I ran back to try to get a better look,
mm-hmm.
and then that's when I was saying there was a craft that went over the neighborhood in no-fly zone. and then it went over there to the other side of the field, and it sat there kind of for a second. It got bright, and then it just disappeared.
Now, we checked all the newspapers, no reports whatsoever. We checked with the media in the area of Salem, Oregon, no reports. We checked with the sheriff, no reports. We checked with the FAA, no reports. We checked with the Air Force, no reports. We checked with the National UFO Reporting Center, no reports. My question to you is, how could something this big not be seen and not reported?
Well, on the first encounter, the neighbors, not all the way down with the second encounter, but on the first encounter, the neighbor's friends seen the disc the night I seen it, when I seen it go off, and they watched it for about, they said 45 minutes, and they tried to get video of it, and they couldn't get video because they were out of service. They were up at the mountain. So,
but if somebody's watching that, something of that size and that significance, why wouldn't they pick up the phone and call 911?
You know, I thought about it. I thought about calling myself. It just was such an amazing thing. And
did you feel that
I didn't want to make waves in my neighborhood. I really didn't want the cops over here. I'll be honest.
But you've gone and contacted every radio show. You want your story out there. But why wouldn't you call the police and file a report the night it was there to get something to validate your sighting?
You know, that clicks in my mind a million times. And it's a would have, could have, should have. And really, I'll be honest with you. I never been into the UFO thing too much, and I really just didn't know where to go. And I did get a hold of Peter Davenport, and I did submit my UFO case to him, and I have a number. And I did get a hold of him, and I got a hold of MUFON. They came over 2 days. I called them 2 days after it happened. And then they came over. And then I waited for my report to come out. And then it took a couple months. And then when my report came out, I just went where my brain could only think. And I sent it to the news here. They denied me. I talked to the one guy. I called her up, and wow, well, let me get back to you. Of course, she never wrote back, and well, I actually had to call back. That was it. Well, sorry, it just I sent my report into MSN.com, and I tried to do what I could do to do it, and expose my encounter, and maybe I could have went more directions.
But here, these are just questions I'm asking you now. All right, I'm not trying to be anything but honest. You live.
I understand.
You live in an area that you know is a no-fly zone because you're near a military installation. You see something, and your neighbors see something that obviously you identify as non-military. And nobody calls the Air Force. Nobody calls the Sheriff's Department. Nobody does anything. Why? Was it because
it's such an incredible thing.
Okay.
It's such an incredible thing at that point in time. And I live in such a small town that everybody pretty much knows everybody. And
but let me ask you. Let me ask you this.
It was a new. I just had kind of moved here, and it was such an incredible thing. And
all right, let me ask you this: you live in a small town, right? Did anybody else in town see the same thing?
Not anybody that I talked to.
All right, now
here around my block.
When I was talking to you earlier this afternoon, I asked you why you were contacting the media, why you wanted to get on the radio. And you said because you wanted to make your place in history. You wanted to make a stance. You wanted to be known for something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right. I did. I feel that I just, like I said before, when I did this, I had never heard this happening, and I just was trying to help everybody out, because I didn't think I never heard of this happening before, and I just thought I was doing everybody a favor, and there was the would have, could have, should have, and okay, I could have called the cops, and I could have did that, but it was such an incredible thing. It was.
No.
Woulda, coulda, shoulda.
All right. When the craft started moving, did it move towards the Air Force Base or away from the Air Force Base?
Away. It went east and then away toward McCauley Mountain, which was where the neighbors' friends seen it, where they were camping at. And that's away from it. Probably another 15 miles away from the airport.
Now, did the UFO make any noise as it was moving? Did you feel
No.
Did you feel an electrical discharge? Did you feel as if something was trying to communicate with you?
Mm-hmm. I did. I felt the electrical charge in the air. I don't know if it was trying to communicate with me or what. I just know I felt a heavy current in the air, and I felt like that on my second encounter, and my teeth hurt. Matter of fact, because I have fillings in my mouth, mercury fillings from when I was a kid, and they hurt really bad. My teeth were sensitive for a while after that was on the second encounter.
Listen, we've got to get ready to go to our final break here, Chris.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you a question. What do you think, or what do you believe in your heart of hearts you and your son witnessed in August of 2011?
I just, my mind hits me all the time. Of course, after this happened, I read stuff on this technology. I never heard of a clear ball or anything like that before, so maybe it was an alien. It's so hard to tell. And no, coming from such a big thing. So I really couldn't tell you. It felt to me very alien.
All right, stand by, Chris. You and I have to take our final break. Exonation Chris Brown is our special guest. I told you, this is a story firsthand from a man who claims to have had 2 close encounters. One on August the 18th, 2011. The second with his son on August the 26th, 2011, in restricted airspace in Oregon. We'll be back. Don't go away. With each new extreme weather event or terrorist act, it becomes increasingly obvious that we live in uncertain and challenging times. We all buy car insurance. Why not collapse and catastrophe insurance? Matthew Stein, an MIT-trained engineer and green builder, has written 2 outstanding books to help people prepare, plan for, and deal with everything from minor situations lasting a few days to full-on collapse. Matt's first book, When Technology Fails, is a manual for self-reliance, sustainable living, and surviving the long emergency. This massive book covers the gamut from first aid and emergency preparedness to alternative healing, renewable energy, primitive living skills, and 18th century technologies that could be critical to your comfort and survival in a long-lasting crisis. Matt's second book, When Disaster Strikes, is a comprehensive emergency preparedness handbook and survival guide. When Disaster Strikes is an essential item for every family's go bag. Both books are available at all usual sources. There's a wealth of totally free information posted at whentechfails.com, and author-signed copies may be purchased at mattstein.com. That's www.whentechfails.com and www.mattstein.com.